Hi guys, it's Grandma. I'm going to talk to you about the story of Jesus is crucified. So the chief priests and the leaders of the Jews found Jesus to be a criminal from their laws and that he needed to be punished. So early in the morning they took Jesus to Pilate, the Roman governor, and Pilate came out from inside of his palace and said to the people, "What did this man do wrong?" And the people replied, "He doesn't pay taxes to Caesar," which wasn't true, "that he stirs up trouble with his teaching," which was only because the leaders made it trouble, "and he even claims to be Christ, the King of the Jews." And Pilate said, "King? Well, he couldn't have another king running around. Is this true what the people are saying?" And Jesus answered Pilate and he said, "My kingdom is not of this world, but yes, I am a king. And he's the king of heaven, right?" Pilate thought about that for a while. He didn't want any competition being the ruler, and Pilate said to the crowd of people, "I don't find this man to be a criminal. He has done nothing wrong." But the people were influenced by the chief priests and the people who were threatened by Jesus' following, and they insisted, "He is a criminal. He needs to be punished by death." Pilate said, "I have considered the evidence, and I find he's done nothing wrong. Nevertheless, I'll punish him for you, and then I'll release him, like I traditionally do. For Passover, I release one criminal." Upon hearing this, the people demanded that Pilate release the murderer Barabbas. Pilate asked them, "What should I do with Jesus?" And the people shouted, "Crucify him!" Louder and louder they yelled. So Pilate took Jesus into his palace. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to make the people mad, and he didn't want to crucify Jesus because he'd done nothing wrong. But he turned Jesus over to his soldiers for punishment. They beat Jesus with whips, and they made fun of him, and they put a crown of thorns on his head, which hurt and made him bleed, and they put a coat like a king would wear on his body, and they hit him in the face, and they yelled, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They took him to a hill called Golgotha. They made him carry a heavy wooden beam for his cross, and when Jesus got too tired to carry it, they made somebody else carry it for him, and that man's name was Simon. Many people followed Jesus and Simon, crying, all the way to Golgotha. When he was on the cross, the soldiers offered him a drink of wine mixed with something to ease the pain, but Jesus refused to drink it. They nailed Jesus to the cross and crucified him. There was a criminal hanging on both his right side and his left side. Jesus looked up and said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't understand what they're doing." The people made fun of Jesus, saying he could save others, but he couldn't save himself. He could have saved himself, but he didn't, because Heavenly Father needed him to finish the job he was sent to do. Just after noon, darkness came over the whole place, and the sun actually stopped shining. It was dark for several hours. Then Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Father, unto thee I commend my spirit." And he died. When Jesus died, the veil of the temple ripped from the top to the bottom, and there was a large earthquake. Everyone was scared. One of the soldiers who'd watched everything said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." The story is very sad, but it's happy for us because Jesus did all of this for us. He did what Heavenly Father asked him to do, even though it was hard. And he did this so that we can ask Jesus for forgiveness and be forgiven. Because of Jesus, we'll be able to be with our loved ones in heaven after we die. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So I'm really grateful for Jesus and what he did for us. And here is a picture of him and the three criminals on the cross. And I will see you tomorrow with more stories of Jesus and Easter. Bye-bye.